Hi guys, and welcome back to another F1 Clash video with myself as a WF1. This week we have a video that most of you have been asking for, so I have worked with the Blue Flag team to get you this detail. So do give them a great thank you. Cat Racer in particular have been sorting me out with the content you're about to see. So Boost video is incoming right now. Do make sure, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It does help me grow the channel more and more and be able to provide you with the content that you are after. And also like and comment any questions you do have, and I will always get back to yourselves. So this week we're going to look at boosts and also the tracks. So if you didn't know already, you get 3 boosts a day free. They can be any of the top 6 boosts you can see here. And any offers, pit pass, crates are all collected through here. So I've been playing in the game sort of 3 seasons. I've got a varied amount of boosts. I haven't got loads compared to what some people do have. However, they are a good set. Now, each one has different abilities. You've got boosts that are great at overtaking, boosts that are better on grip. You've got boosts that are fuel related, tyre related. It goes on. So what you want to know is, what are the boosts you should be using? And for this video, I've got some tracks to show you for. So let's go. Let's look at these tracks. Let's look at our first track then. And up first, we have Melbourne, so the Australian Grand Prix, and very tricky track to overtake, really, pretty much up there with the likes of Canada, Singapore, that I feel. But let's give you an introduction into what these map tracks provided by Blue Flags can provide you. So you'll see the track layout on every single graph, and it will be either highlighted red, green or yellow. Now, when you're racing around Melbourne, for example, you will see that red is pretty much the hot overtaking spots, and it's also the spots that you want to pretty much be at maximum boost in terms of your car. Now, that doesn't mean you can't push elsewhere, but what we're saying is that them maximum boost parts are where you're most likely going to overtake. So you can see on the left-hand side, and you're more than welcome to pause this video at each track you want to have a look at. But you can see that entry corner for 1 and 2, you want to be flat out as it's a good overtaking opportunity. And then for that rest of that part, it's very difficult to overtake all the way up till about turn 11. You can get back on the boost through to turn 13 and conserving down and boosting for the rest of the lap. Now, your strategy might mean 2 full laps on boost, and that's so be it. But that's what we recommend. Sometimes you can boost through a lot of the green section, and you know that you can't overtake. Now, that last section, do you see where the speed trap is? We all know that it's very unlikely you're going to overtake there. So it's a good chance to conserve fuel, or maybe keep on medium to keep close to the rival and almost benefit from all your stats as well. There's no point wasting your fuel and your tyres being burnt up, stuck behind an AI. So that's one thing to also consider on these tracks as well. On the left-hand side, on the sort of cells, you can see the entry and exit. So that is a case of going in, you might want to be full boost. Coming out, you might want to conserve. It is high detail, but that's what separates the team from the other teams in the leaderboards. In terms of boosts then, we've got Dijin. I haven't got it personally, but it is a very sort of grip, tyre use, cornering type of boost. We've got Downforce in there. We've got Eagle, which is also a tyre and grip, I believe. We've got a Taurus, and we've also got a Rooster. So Rooster and Taurus are both tyre use. We've got a bit of cornering in there and grip as well. So they're the recommended boosts. For the rain, you want to look at Hex, Tisa, Tune-In, Prince, that kind of boost as well. I will show you them now, but let's first see what boost you should be using for Australia. Okay then, so for your boosts in Australia, like I said, I haven't got Dijin. It is a very good boost, but I don't have it. So if you have got it, use it. If not, you have got your downforce, which is cornering, grip and tyre use. So Australia, there's not them long straights, so you want your corner and your grip. That's a main characteristic of Australia, which is grip. Okay, obviously for the rain, you've got Hex. Hex is pretty much up there with every single one of them. You've got the speed element as the overtake as well. Look, Rooster, we had in there. We've got block. So if it's a hard track to overtake, block is going to be perfect. It's also got your grip and really good tyre wear, so you can go longer or you can undercut and boost for longer. Prince was up there for the wet as well. Like I said, block, corners, exactly like Rooster, but for the wet. Okay, we've got the Taurus in there, so it's got your cornering. You can use more fuel and you can use more tyre use, so you can push further. And you've also got TSAR, so that's another good one. Corners, tyre use and wet. So there's some definitely boosts to check out for Australia. Give it a go. Let me know how you do get on, but they are the perfect boost that you want to use for that track. Next track we have up is Spain, so Catalonia. Now, you can see straight away that it's a grip and tyre characteristic track, so it's very similar to Australia. It has got some long straights, which are very good for overtaking, but there is also a lot of places you can't overtake. So ideally then, coming in from the last corner, you want to be boosting all the way down the straight. That's a great opportunity to overtake. You've got that sort of corner 3, that long bend round. You can't really overtake there. If you do, it's very rare, but going into sort of 4 and 5 on red, it is a great opportunity to overtake as well. Going through then to 6, 7, 8, 9, you don't really overtake unless the rival make a mistake. And that leads us into another long straight where usually you will find that your driver will dive up the inside and make a move on the opponent. Turns sort of 12, 13, 14, yet again, you don't really overtake unless it's in a lunge on the last chicane and then back into the straight. So definitely have another look at this spreadsheet. Pause the video. And on the left-hand side, you can see the pass probability. So if it's high, medium, low. And you can see the entry speed and the exit speed. So if you want to be going to a corner boosting or you want to come out the corner conserving. So do sort of have a go at that. Have a look. Remind yourself of it each time you race. But it does save you wasting boost on trying to overtake when you're not going to overtake. In terms of the bottle boosts to add, it is very same as Australia, so I'm not going to add them back in. But you are looking at your tyre wear, your grip, your tyre use, that kind of thing. So get them on your car. It's a great track, Spain. It's a very nice sort of steady track. Put them on your car and have a go at that one as well. The next one on our list is also another grip and tyre characteristic track. So I've tried to link these together, so I haven't got to show you the boost each time, but you can use the same sort of tyre boosts and grip boosts on these tracks. So we do know Singapore, very hard track to overtake like Australia. Look at turn 1, so they've got the main straight. You usually dive into the first corner. Sort of turns 1 and 2. 3 you don't really overtake, and then you can go up the inside of 4 all the way down to 5 and 6. They're a good place to overtake, and you can see on the left hand side how limited it is to actually overtake on Singapore. You're talking sort of going to turn 10, 11 and 12, another really good opportunity where you sort of dive up the inside. There is chances at other parts that are medium or low, but by saying a low overtake doesn't mean an impossible overtake. But when you look at the key areas of Singapore, you are talking the first corner, the sort of 5th corner, and maybe down that back sort of midway through where you got turn 10, 11. That is where, when you next race at Singapore, you will notice your driver overtake more at them parts. You can overtake in other parts. So for example, I know you can probably overtake at maybe corner 7 and 8, but they are low. I don't tend to overtake a lot at them. Remember, if you're doing a strategy where you're doing like maybe a 3-2-2 on Singapore and you're fully pushing for 2 laps, you can still do that. That's totally up to you. We're not saying finish the race with 6 laps of fuel left. But what it is worth doing is, if you don't have to push, don't push. And if you're sort of conserving for the whole lap, make sure you boost through these little parts, because if you can make up 1 to 2 positions over a couple of laps when you're not supposed to be boosting, it's extra positions that you haven't got to worry about. The key to these tracks is maximising your opportunity even when you're not looking for an opportunity, okay? You can still conserve for 3 laps or 4 laps, whatever your strategy is, but the main thing to do is have a go at overtaking in short boosts in the main areas every single lap. What you might find is, instead of conserving, being boring for 4 laps, just sitting there waiting, instead have a little go each lap. You're probably going to lose 10% over the whole thing maybe. It's not going to affect you too much. For this track, obviously, it is grip and tyre. We've got the same boosts, so Dijon, Downforce, Eagle, Rooster and Taurus. In the wet, you can see we've got Prince, which is blocking and good in the wet. You've got your T-Star, which is your cornering and your wetness and your grip, all the way down to Hex and tuning. So definitely have a look at that track as well. It is the same as the other two in terms of boosts, pretty much, but it is definitely a track where you don't really want overtaking boosts. You want your tyre, cornering, grip use as well. A different track to look at next then for you. So we've done sort of the tyre and the grip sort of tracks, and we're now going to look at Monza. So Monza, if you should have known already, was the Italian GP just gone, and we all did the Italian GP in the F1 Clash. Multiple times we raced at Monza. Still a hard track to progress, but hopefully with this you will be able to maximise them chances. So let's have a look then. So it is a aero and speed, not necessarily a grip and tyre. So we're looking at an aero and speed characteristics here. So as you can see, let's look at the map. Great opportunities to overtake where you want to be in red most of the lap where possible. So coming around the final bend, down the straight into the chicane, great opportunity to pass a few cars. Turns sort of what we're looking at 3, 4, 5 and 6. You don't tend to chuck one up the inside in the chicane. You can rarely, maybe mid through the race, but it's not something that you tend to see many opportunities. Coming out of turn 6, another good momentum, really good chance to push all the way up until sort of turns 7 and 8. Good opportunity to chuck one up the inside, and also coming out of that chicane, or I can't remember the exact name. Someone will put it in the comments. I've got it on the tip of my tongue. I want to say Lesmos. Don't know if it is. You can correct me if you want. So coming out of there, you sort of can chuck it up the inside, going through there, down the back straight, still overtaking into the final corner, and it follows through. So you can see that track has got some great boosting opportunities and some sort of corners and straights where you can really sort of make up some ground on your opponents if you utilise it. Okay, in terms of boosts, we are looking at different boosts. Obviously, we're not so much dependent on the tyre wear and the grip. So we're looking at a dead fast, a firework, a shark, and lumberjack, and a voice. So very different boosts. I don't think you've really seen them in the other 3 tracks so far. And let's take a look at exactly what boosts they are, because it'll probably work quite well. So into boost them, and we have some good boosts in here that we can obviously use for Monza. Okay, so let's have a look then. We have the Eternal Flame is a good one to use. You've got Overtake, which is great overtake in there. You've got your grip as well, so we've got a bit of grip, and we're also not going to lose too much tyre use by actually running hard. We've got Lumberjack, so we're looking at speed, and we're looking at overtake. Bit of tyre use, so it's not going to hurt us as much, but another 2 emphasis on overtake and speed. Street Shark, if you haven't seen the picture already, overtake, speed and tyre use. So we're really pushing them tyres as sort of hard as we can. We've got fuel use, speed and tyre use again on dead fast. And we've also got voice that we can use as well, which is the acceleration, the speed and the grip. Bit of everything, more balanced. So you can see already for a fast track like Monza, where there's big straights, a lot of chances to really overtake, you want to be using your speed and your overtaking mixed boosts. They're the main ones that you do want there. Obviously in the wet for Monza, perfect for Hex. You've got your overtaking and your speed. Tuning's another good one. It is corners, but if you haven't used tuning already, it's up there with Hex. I think it's a phenomenal boost that you can use as well. Okay, so exceptions, another one in the wet, fuel use, speed and wetness, allowing you to push harder in that track. So that's it for Monza. Great little track. Speed and overtaking is what you want. Give them boosts a go. Let me know how you get on. Next track we have is one of the best tracks on the F1 calendar, one of the oldest as well. So we have Spa. So if you haven't done Spa on F1 Clash yet, you'll know that it's a very hard track to overtake. Very hard to score points in GP if you want to try and climb them leaderboards as well. So hopefully this will give you an idea of what you can do to improve that. So looking at the actual track map, sort of home straight into turn one, your driver will often chuck one up the inside if he's feeling pretty confident. Up through Eau Rouge, at the top of Eau Rouge, you can sneak through into sort of turns maybe 5 and 6 at the very top. There's always still a room for opportunity. At the hairpin, sort of turn 8, turn 9, not too much will overtake there. You can often get an AI go wide, but it's a sort of a place where you do want to conserve if you can. And then in terms of turns 10 and 11, your driver will also always chuck one up the inside, all the way through round to 11 and 12. So another great opportunity. Often if the AI is on a hard or a medium and you're on a soft, 9 times out of 10, if you're right behind them, they'll chuck one up the inside and gain that position. Turns 13 and 14, you always get stuck behind your AI. You can't really overtake there unless they've broken down. And then turns 15, 16 and 17, sort of full boost. If tyre wear is an issue, if they're conserving and you're on boosting, they do tend to fly around the outside of the AI or the opponent into then obviously the last part of the chicane. So that's the track map. On the left you can see sort of what speeds that you want to be doing at what sort of corner, as I've just mentioned there, whether or not you want to be boosting or conserving, and what is the pass probability. Is it high, medium, is it low? Are you wasting your time? That's one thing that you do want to check out and sort of bring yourself up to date. The boost then for this one, similar to Monza. So we've got a dead fast and a firework, a shark, a hex and a voice. So I won't go through them again. Obviously for the wet, we've then got the hex, tune in. We've got similar ones as well. So definitely give the same boost a try. It's definitely worth it in Spa. You will gain points by following these boosts, especially in GP. So definitely give it a go. Let me know how you get on with Spa. The last track that I'm going to give you a preview on now is Baku. So Baku has got a main straight, which is a great place for overtaking on this track. One of the sort of few opportunities that you can get. So let's have a look. So out the last corner, all the way up to turn 1 is a perfect opportunity to be boosting as hard as you can, especially into that first corner. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be overtaking through that first corner and maybe into the second as well. Down that long straight, you can chuck one up into the third corner. It is very sort of lower expectation that in the third corner you're going to get that overtake done. As you can see on the left-hand side for probability, it is a medium chance. Turn 5, as we start that middle section, you can chuck one up the inside. It is a higher chance compared to the other corners, but you do have the possibility there. Through that middle section, we will usually conserve. It does get very cramped and busy in that section. You don't want to be running down your tyres or your fuel just being stuck behind your AI or rivals. Coming out of turn 12 and 13 then, the AI does sort of come out slower there. You can chuck one up the inside if you're on boosting, all the way up in terms of turn 14 into 15. That back straight, 9 times out of 10, you won't make a move up the inside. It is possible going into that final straight, But what we do say is to conserve through there, and then as you get the last corner, boost up, because there is a good opportunity at turns 17 and 18 to get a move before the main straight. And then obviously all the way down the main straight is where you will make your positions. As we've said for the other tracks, you may not want to conserve or boost the whole laps, but even if you're conserving 5 seconds on a boost where you've got a really good overtaking chance like corner 1, it's worth doing. You could save yourself 10 seconds by being in front of a hard AI tyre compound when you're on soft. So always make sure you look at the opportunities, okay? Now, dead fast, lumberjack, shark and firework. So yet again, we're looking at speed and we're looking at overtaking on these tracks. So the first 3 were very sort of tyre and grip. The last 3 are very aero, grip and power, okay? Definitely have a look at them overtaking boosts to use on these tracks. You've also got in the wet, Hex, TSAR, Tuning and Prince. They're all very good in the wet. It's a boost that you will use on pretty much most tracks as well, okay? So that's pretty much it for this preview. I have shown you 6 tracks that the Blue Flags family has put together. We have circulated with ourselves, and I'm very appreciative that they've been able to help me give this content to you guys. You are getting inside knowledge, and very grateful for them allowing me to show you. I know a lot of you have been wanting boost videos and what boost to use, so hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight as to what boost to use and also when to physically attack or conserve when you're racing, okay? Any questions or comments, please do let me know. Make sure you do subscribe in the videos. If there is any tracks you're unsure of, I can try and help you in the comment section. However, at a later date, we might release more tracks to you anyway, okay? So make sure you do subscribe, and I will catch you at the next one. Thanks, guys.